Hey everybody, this lecture is going to be talking about cholesterol and how your body makes cholesterol and then what effects it can have on your body. So I know probably most of us have heard the term cholesterol before. It is a steroid, that's why it's called sterol. Cholesterol, it's a waxy steroid and it's found in all human body cells and in our bloodstream. Now, we have, as a society, a bad association with cholesterol oftentimes, but there are two different types, one that's good and one that's bad, and also our body makes both of them for very important reasons. So, your body uses cholesterol to make vitamin D, it aids in digestion, it makes up cell membranes, and many other functions. And your body makes cholesterol in the liver, which is on the right-hand side of your body, under your ribs, kind of like under your ribs and down toward the middle of your abdomen. And here is a diagram showing the production of cholesterol and how it gets into the bloodstream. So this little yellow thing right here is a blob of cholesterol, and that's called a lipoprotein. Lipo meaning lipid, and then protein meaning it has like proteins kind of mixed in with it. So it's a lipoprotein. And there are two different kinds. There's high density lipoproteins and low density lipoproteins. And when we abbreviate that, it turns into HDL and LDL, high density lipoproteins and low density lipoproteins. So it used to be thought that when your body makes too much cholesterol, it's because you ate too much cholesterol. And I think I said that in the lecture before this, but that's no longer the thinking. The thinking is that if somebody has very high cholesterol, if it's not due to genetic reasons or some other medical reason, it might be due to the fact that they have too much saturated fat in their diet. Saturated fat in their diet. So now modern thinking is that saturated fat leads to high cholesterol versus like about 10 or 15 years ago where they thought cholesterol leads to high cholesterol. That was my Oreo example where I told you I saw that Oreos have 0 cholesterol and then was all excited when they were free of cholesterol. I could eat them. Okay. So when a large amount of cholesterol builds up on an arterial wall, it causes inflammation. And the body, your body, builds a cap over that cholesterol. And that capped cholesterol is called plaque. And please excuse my cell phone going off. It sounds like a bird, but I'm not going to redo this whole video just because my cell phone is going off. So it's called a plaque, a capped cholesterol. And I can show you this process just, before, during, and after. So here's a normal artery wall. Here is the fat building up, fatty streak. Okay, then we have this. So this shell right here around the fatty streak is fibrous and it's called plaque. And plaque can disrupt blood flow, as you can see here. So normal blood flow would be free, but then if you have plaques on your arteries, it can cause disruption, and that can lead to pain or even heart disease and heart attacks. So that plaque buildup in your arteries is called atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. I've heard people say atherosclerosis too. I really don't care what you say. Just try to pronounce it as best you can. You might want to say it in your head right now just to help yourself out. Atherosclerosis. So this, as I said, can lead to heart disease, cardiovascular conditions like stroke. There's hard plaque that has hardened and even calcified. And then there's soft plaque that has not calcified, and soft plaque actually is reversible based on your diet and lifestyle changes. But hard plaque is dangerous and can cause a heart attack if it's not dealt with. And here's a picture of a rupture. I'll move myself down here. Plaque can sometimes rupture into the bloodstream. Okay. You can even see this on CAT scans. This right here is an artery and the artery wall. blood would be flowing in this dark area here, and then this light area that they've outlined here is the plaque. So let's talk about the differences between LDL and HDL. HDL is high density lipoprotein, and it's packets of cholesterol that actually clean your arteries. So it's good for you. HDL does good things in your body. LDL, on the other hand, is low density lipoprotein. That's not so good. Those pockets of cholesterol can actually deposit cholesterol in your arteries. So it's like they work opposite of each other, but they're both cholesterol. So the thinking that you could probably do to memorize this is that high density lipoprotein, you want to be high, okay? High LDL is good, or I'm sorry, high HDL is good. Oh my God. High HDL is good, and low density lipoprotein, LDL, is bad. Here's a little picture of HDL, good cholesterol, kind of working to help out your bloodstream. HDL removes cholesterol from the bloodstream and artery walls, and then LDL makes the problem worse and deposits those fatty plaques on the arteries. So that is LDL. That's the bad cholesterol. You want that to be low. So when you go to the doctor and you get your blood tested, they can test for LDL and HDL. It's called a lipid panel, and that can specifically examine your lipids and your cholesterol levels and see how you're doing with HDL and LDL. And it will also look at your triglycerides. And when you add all of those together, the HDL, the LDL, and the 20% triglycerides, you can get your total cholesterol score. But this number can be deceiving, because if you have a very high total cholesterol score, it could mean that you have very high HDL, which would actually be a good thing. Or it could mean you have very high LDL, which is a very bad thing. So you don't want to really, if you get like a total cholesterol score and it's high, don't let anybody tell you right up front that that's a bad thing, because it might not be. You might be high in HDL. You would just need to get further testing. So a lipid panel would look something like this, and there's nowhere for me to move, so I'm just going to try to, that's the standard range right there. Cholesterol. Let's say your value is 228, and the normal is 125 to 200. So this total cholesterol score would be considered high because it's over that 200. HDL is 65, and they say they want it to be greater than or equal to 46. Remember, the higher the better. So 65, it would be good, because now you realize that you have more HDL than the minimum. Triglyceride, as you know, is another term for fat. That one is also looking good because you want it to be less than 150, and this person's is 78. Cholesterol, LDL, low density lipoprotein. That's 147. They want it to be less than 130. So guess what? This person does, even though they have high HDL, they do have elevated LDL too. So they might want to look into their diet or lifestyle changes, maybe adding some exercise, decreasing the amount of saturated fat in their diet, and eating more vegetables, things like that. Just changing their lifestyle to try to get that LDL down to a better amount, because chances are it is building up plaques in their arteries, to some scale. So, as I said, if we were in class, we would go over the different types of fatty acids, but I think this is good for now. Anyway, please have a great day, and remember, HDL, you want to be high, LDL, you want to be low. Cholesterol in your diet doesn't necessarily equal cholesterol in your bloodstream, and your body needs cholesterol to function and survive, but it can make it on its own in your liver. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later.